Hello and welcome back to My Life's Toil with me, Neil. This week we are, as planned last week, going to discuss some questions and answers, of which there have been a few over the last couple of weeks. And there's nothing too pressing on there, but certainly I mentioned last week that there's no silly questions really, because often when you're thinking of something that you might think is a silly question, you won't be the only one thinking of it. So we'll also do quick weigh in a bit later on as well, just to update you on that. And we've got some more progress pictures from some of the people out there as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into some of these pressing questions that people have been asking. And like I always say, I am not the go-to for all the answers for everything, but where I can, I will try and find out the answers, or at least point you in the right direction. What I do on here is, excuse me, what I do on here is more about just how I do things for me, what suits me. It's not for you to go out and say, oh, I need to do that. It's for you to sort of realize that there's more than one way of doing things, really. And just that we sometimes can, within good guidance and monitoring and making sure that we're looked after, about just tailoring things to suit ourselves, really. But let's get on to some of these questions and answers, and we'll do what we can with them. So we often get a lot of questions regarding people that are traveling with their Mounjaro, or I dare say weight loss injections and medication, really, I suppose. But this one here, I haven't put who sent all of these down, but on some of them I have, and I will mention some of the names, obviously. But the question for the community: has anyone recently travelled from the UK to the US with pens and needles? I'm presuming because Mounjaro is produced by US pharmaceutical companies, there is no problem taking it through customs stateside, but it would be good to hear from someone who has. Also, did you travel with it in hand luggage rather than in the hold? I have a travel case for it with mini freezer blocks that fit in. My pen will be out of my fridge from 5:30 UK time till around 6 p.m. US time, which is 11 p.m. UK. I will have a fridge freezer in my apartment when I arrive, so not worried about storing it whilst away. And yeah, this has come up loads of times before. And wherever you're going, really, there will be guidance that you need to adhere to when taking medications abroad initially. Usually, you can have a specific type of case, like you've mentioned here. Yeah, keep it cool as it needs to be in that certain temperature range, below 30 degrees, isn't it? And also, you might need to take certain paperwork with you when you do travel away. I don't think there's any particular issue as long as you keep it at that temperature. But I have always signposted people to this particular website here, and that this is supplied through doctors that work for the ASDA pharmacy. And I find this webpage here has so much good advice on it, and they will guide you through everything you need to know. So hopefully you get that in time for when you go away. Apart from that, have a great holiday. I hope that helps anyway. So yeah, I know it was quite glancing, but I think if we can just point you in the right direction and give you the advice to actually seek out the necessary stuff, what you need there. If you're going anywhere in the world, different countries have different legislation for what you need to take there, but this particular site is really good for covering a few things there. Someone mentioned, do you split dose and inject same side or alternate? If doing 5 milligrams and 2.5 milligrams, it means one side will always get the 5 milligrams unless I do the 3.75 alternate 4-day and 3-day. Well, no, if you're talking about the abdomen, you've got 4 sites there, and I think I've replied to this on the pages as well. So realistically, you could go right upper, right lower, and then just alternate it round. If you were just solely going to the abdomen, but even if you were going in sort of the right thigh or the left thigh, you could go in different areas there. So although they advise you to change sides, as long as you've got no reddening, no reactions of the area itself. The way I always look at it, and I have helped out with when people have started having diabetic jabs and things like that with similar pens, really. Sometimes because they're injecting a lot more often, sometimes numerous times a day, they have no choice but to go in similar areas. So realistically, although we're advised to completely change the area, you can, as long as you're away from the area, and remember it's always 2 inches away from the belly button. It doesn't have to be that far away. It's safer just to keep well away because we are only injecting once a week. Sometimes people are doing it, as in my case, twice a week, every 72 hours. But just use a bit of common sense with the approach, really. If there's any sign of rash or reaction, just move away from it. But theoretically, if you imagine on the tummy, you've got sort of here, here, and it's going to be off camera, and lower down and lower down. So you've got 4 sites to play with, really, there. I hope that helps, but that's how I do it. You'll see me when I do the jabs, and I've already done my jab. I did it Saturday night, actually. So the weekend jab's been done for me. And I actually went, I couldn't remember where I'd been, but just using a bit of common sense, making sure I'm not tendering in particular areas, no bruising, no redness or rash or reactions of any type. I'm not worried about going into the same point. And this thing about having a certain amount of dose in one side to the other, that doesn't matter whatsoever. It's whatever's being taken into the tummy that will be absorbed into the system. So it doesn't matter how much one side or the other. That shouldn't mean a thing. I did do a video earlier on in the year where people were getting different responses. And it seems quite a real thing that people will have a different uptake if they go in their arm compared to the thigh, compared to the abdomen. And we speak about, well, we hear about that quite a lot, don't we? Whereas I noticed, and it's not the same for everyone, that when I go into my abdomen, which is where I prefer because I know how it's going to work for me. When I went into the thigh, I think if I remember rightly, the uptake felt slower, but it lasted longer. So there's just little differences there, but you're still really getting that same dose into your system either way. A lot of these are sort of questions personal to me, but um, it can be related to other people as well. And someone's put here, this was Leslie. Hi, Neil. Are you hoping to come off the pen in the near future? And I think I responded at the time to this one as well. The answer to that is I do hope to, and I do plan to. I just haven't made a concrete plan around that yet. And I've been saying all the way along, really, is to have this end game that I've been talking about. And it's like when we sort of foresaw what was going to happen with the pricing and the availability of Mounjaro really early on, saying you just don't know what's going to happen with it. And for a lot of us, it's a case of being priced out of the market. So, what's the end game there? And have people thought about that? And in my case, that could be Wegovy for me as a maintenance, but we'll see how things go. I'm still on I've got my 10 milligram pen at the moment, which I'm microdosing, which I've been talking about. But the plan really is, and it's like, is it never, never to actually come off this? And to be honest with you, I'm really worried about what my end game plan around coming off it is, because although it's sort of in the back of my, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, oh, it's a job that I'll get round to. It's similar to that, really. And I'm being honest now, and I might be criticised for this. I haven't actually got a proper end plan. But the plan in the back of my mind is that I won't be on Mounjaro for life. Or will I? I really don't know. Because for me, a maintenance dose, if it's a low dose, will be not so good for me. But I just don't know. But I'll let you know as soon as I come up with a plan. You'll all be the first to know. This was an interesting question from Dave. But Neil, video idea for you, mate. Have you looked at the next generation of weight loss injections that would be available in 2026? I would be interested on your thoughts of retatrutide. From my own reading, this could be a game changer for people. Yet there are quite a few different things in the offing, aren't there? I mentioned the orforglipron or gliptron or whatever it's called. I couldn't pronounce it then properly, and I can't pronounce it now, which is the tablet version, which I am more excited about, not necessarily for me, but for certainly people that don't want to take the jabs, or I just think that that really could be the game changer, the miracle drug. I keep doing this a lot today, don't I? I'm not taking pictures. It's, yeah, what do you call it, inverted commas and speech marks. But that, for me, I don't know enough about the retatrutide at all. I've not looked into that a bit, to be honest with you. Recently, I've been looking at the oral medication that's coming out, and the Wegovy that I've been doing some reading up on. Like I said for the last question, that will loosely be my plan moving forward if I do feel that I need to maintain moving on. But yeah, I think just in general, with what's happening with um, care and treatment of obesity and diabetes as well, which is how this all came about, really, I think it's looking really positive. I just really hope that the pharmaceutical companies like Eli Lilly and all the other companies out there, are just very fair in the way that the costings go, because we don't want it to be something that we're all priced out of being able to do. But fingers crossed. But it is exciting moving forward. Totally agree. Next question. I didn't put who this was again. Brilliant and informative video. Thank you. You're too kind. I was wondering, has anyone noticed that after priming their pen, an air bubble is still present? This happened to me last week and I ended up priming 3 times. I nearly threw the pen away because it worried me. Also, just wanted to say, well done and good luck with the new pen, Neil. Hope it works for you. Love your videos. Oh, thank you very much. And I'm sorry I didn't put your name because that was a lovely message. Right. I do mention this quite often. If you get, I should have got the pen for this one actually, it's in the fridge. If you get your pen, when we turn it upside down, so the needle's at the top, so the air bubbles, if there's any air bubbles in it, rise to the top. If you have tiny microscopic bubbles in there, yeah, we want to sort of tap it. And the other thing to do is, without breaking it, imagine, I should have got it. I can't even be bothered to go and get it, to be honest. I've got everything on my lap here. I've got a computer and all these wires on me, so I'm not going to, I should do really. Imagine that's the pen and you're just on the side of a counter or something. Don't get smashing it, but have the needle bit at the top. Just tap it, because sometimes you get the bubbles and it will stick around something and it'll stick quite a lot. Just encourage it. That's why people tap the pen, to get the air rises, to get it to the top. If you have tiny microscopic bubbles that go into your subcutaneous fat, it is not going to cause you any concerns at all. At the very worst, as long as it's not a massive, great big bubble of air, and then it will need to be such a lot. Now, I remember this from when I was at uni for my para course and on my tech course before that with the ambulance service. This might be totally wrong, so don't quote me on it, but I think you need something like a minimum of 35 mils of air directly into your vein to cause you any compromise, any cardiovascular compromise. That's a lot of air. So a tiny microscopic bit of bubbles in Mounjaro going into the subcutaneous fat, at worst, it will pinch a little bit. But please don't worry apart from that. And certainly don't get throwing pens away because of it. Just if there's sometimes if a pen gets shaken, you'll get lots of little air bubbles in there. Just let it settle overnight and then just tap them up and let them rise. Don't get throwing pens away. God, this stuff's too expensive to be doing that. I hope you get it sorted, but don't let it worry you, honestly. And I'll try and remember to prove that point one day. I'm not going to deliberately inject myself with air, but I think that I've injected with a tiny amount of air bubbles in there before. When I say you might feel it, it's such a small difference. I mean, you got to remember that certain times of the year I'll help out with our flu and COVID vaccines, and the advice around that is to try and get the air out. But if there's tiny microscopic bubbles that are going into people's, that's intramuscular. The worst that's going to happen, it might pinch a little bit, and I always give that bit of a get there and give it a good pinch, and just not rough handle people, but I like to let them know that I'm there, because then the injection goes in and it feels less than that pinch I've given them. That's a little tip you might want to use. That's why I always give my belly a pinch when I inject as well. Give it a go. Just give yourself a good pinch. Don't get bruising yourself or hurting yourself deliberately, but just, yeah, look, do it like you mean it, if that makes sense. Right, we've had a few questions, but I have had to go back a little bit because I wanted to go back over some of the questions as well. And I haven't talked about this for a long time, and this has changed a little bit. Angela Broom, a couple of weeks ago, sent this message through. What types of food do you eat? And the answer initially to that was, oh, I was cutting down on all this, cutting down on that, making sure I'd got this protein in, making sure I got fiber, which is all relevant stuff. Especially as we know, for those that are starting Mounjaro that are going to be losing weight at different degrees, because like I say, it works for some people, it doesn't for others. Some people will lose a lot quickly, some people will hardly lose anything, if at all. Some people will lose fat, some people will lose fat, fluids, and muscle, which is why we're all encouraged, where we can, to exercise and do some strength type training to keep that muscle mass, because you will lose muscle as well as fat. And because of that, we're encouraged to make sure that we eat a certain amount of protein a day. That's important, and I always make sure that I eat a lot of protein. Yes, I have cut down on carbs, so I don't eat so much carbs. I've really cut down on things like rices and pastas and that just lately. One, because it I actually used to feel it the day after in my tummy. It sort of used to upset my tummy a little bit, but one of those things that you used to just live with. But now I look at other things. I don't eat as much bread anymore. Still eat potatoes and things like that. I enjoy mashed potato, jacket potatoes, but I'll always have something quite high protein, like your fish. I love salmon. I love chicken and things like that. But I also have these protein shakes as well. I don't drink a huge amount of it, but most days I'll have a bit of a protein shake at some point. But generally, Angela, I pretty much eat everything. I don't deliberately cut anything out. If I go out for a meal, I'll have a bit of everything. Less likely to have a pudding at the end of the day now, although I always enjoy. Towards the end of the day, and I think it tailors back to in the days when I used to take such bad snacks to bed. At bedtime, I have a tiny low fat yogurt, and I think that's me up here. And it's just my little way of just capping the day off. Um, it's a bit of dairy. I'll have it, and I'll have a glass of water or something, or we'll take a cup of tea to bed or something. And sometimes I'll sit and I'll have my yogurt while I watch telly in bed. And that's like the old me. Do you remember? If those that have been around for a while know that I used to go to bed and then come down and raid the kitchen and just take so much rubbish to bed with me. But it's a little secret for you. So yeah, but just enjoy your food. That's the main thing. But just count your calories. You know that I've been using the NutriCheck app. I'll eat. I do have plain yogurt as well. And here's a good thing: I haven't mentioned the Supreva for such a long time, and I'm down to, and I've got to get back in touch with Isabel to get some more. I used to love the vanilla Supreva, and I know a lot of people on the channel love the Supreva as well. It's this flavour powder that I haven't mentioned for a little while, and we gave some away for a competition a little while back. And you've got the flavours. You've got the butter biscuit, which was the first one I had, which was lovely, which I used to make the flapjacks out of. That's something else that I used to have as a quick breakfast, although I don't tend to have breakfast so much anymore. The overnight oats, which is really good. Um, but then there's the chocolate, the milk chocolate flavour, and the vanilla. The vanilla one is my favourite. But I mix a bit of that, and I'll sometimes have I'll have skimmed milk, but I've a bit of a milkshake, which needs a good whisk, but it does go into there. But if you like plain Greek yogurt, which is really good for you anyway, but I think it is, put a bit of Supreme in. You only need a tiny amount. And I'll put the link up because you can still get a 10% discount if you use my name here at this website here. And I'll put it on the details down below. Go and have a look. It's always good to have in. It makes some people like to put it in coffee and they'll have a latte or something and flavour it up that way. But you can use it in so many things, in cakes. You don't need any sugar. It replaces all the sugar. Go and have a look. So I'm glad that gave me the opportunity to mention that, because I haven't mentioned that for a little while, and we'll have to give some more of that away soon. So thank you, Angela. That was good question. Like I say, there's no bad questions, is there? Right, what's this one here? Again, I've put no name for it. Hi, Neil. Great show as usual. Some great bits of information. Thank you. You mentioned silly questions. Saying that, there isn't one, so I apologise for advance for this one. Okay, it's not going to be a silly question. Now, you are split dosing on the 10 milligram pen. I assume you will be continuing to take 2 times 3.75 mils every 7 days. Yes. Here it comes. Sorry. How many weeks will each pen last? Keep up the great work. Thank you. And good luck to Blues on Saturday. We won. That was yesterday. I was down there. It was a hard fought game. And this is where everyone's going to turn off now. I won't be going long. Blues got a result, so I'm pleased. And he's an Arsenal fan. He's a gunner. Sorry, you don't have to apologise. Arsenal's a great team. Anyway, enough of the football. That's another channel I do. If anyone's into football and they want to go and see me and my son being really silly on camera and pretending we know about football, we've got a channel called BlueTube 1875. You type that in, you'll see us. If you want to go and drive our subscribers up a bit, that'd be great. But if you hate football, I don't expect to see you on there. I know there's a few of you on here, and that's great. But these pens, yeah, so first of all, it's a good opportunity for me to say about microdosing a pen. Like I said at the start, this is my risk. And the guidance is if you've got a 10 milligram pen, you're having 10 milligram doses once a week. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, I've gone up from the 7.5 milligram pen purely because of the costings now, because the costings changed. I had the opportunity to buy a 10 milligram pen and I am microdosing it down. It will give me more than 10 doses at 3.75 milligram, but that takes it past the use by date from opening, and that's the risk I take. So I don't encourage anyone to do that, but I don't discourage it either because I know that it's working for me and I'm being ultra careful. Yes, there is always a risk that over time infection can be brought into that pen, although no matter how much cleaning and sterile cleaning of the seal that we do, there is always a risk. But you know what? I always say there's a risk in everything we do. And I'm not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes with anything like this. I am literally just trying to get the most that I can out of this, because let's face it, the companies that make these things are trying to get the most that they can out of us. Yes, they have their guidance. And yes, if anything were to happen to me, I wouldn't have a leg to stand on. But I just want you to be appreciative of, if anything does go wrong, that we need to be responsible for ourselves. So official advice is use the pen how it's supposed to be used. But I'm just showing you how I use the pen because it's working for me. And I know a lot of people that it does work for, but not for everybody. So sorry that was a bit of a long answer, but yes, I do get a lot more doses out of it. And I think if I'm in a financial position to be able to get another 10 milligram pen, I'll do it again. I'm only just into this pen, aren't I? I gave myself the other dose last night, Saturday night. It's now Sunday. Now it's Sunday afternoon, actually. I'm really late doing this. So I'm hoping to have this out. It's 2:30 on the afternoon, so I really hope I get this out in time. So I'm sorry there's been a delay on it, but I will put it out. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's basically it. I think it came out. I used Sean's calculator, the app we talked about last week, and I'm really hoping he can get that out to him, because the people that managed to get on that, there was only so many places available. I've said some really good things. Yeah, there were some teething issues. I've used it myself for the calculator. I literally just clicked on what size pen it was, what size dose I need. It tells me how many clicks I've got to do, and it tells me how many doses I'm going to get out of that pen as well. I think it's a brilliant app. And we'll mention Sean in a little bit when we get to the progress pictures. Right. Next question. Oh, what's this one? Am I a failure? Am I a failure if 12.5 Mounjaro still barely makes my weight go down? If I go to 15, I have no increase left. And what if it doesn't get better? Over months, just 1 or 2 kilos. So over many months, I'm assuming, just a couple of kilos. It's a really hard one, and I haven't put the name on this one either. I wish I had. So I feel for the people that it doesn't work for, but at the same time, you're on a plan that I know that there's been people that have had to go right up to the 15 milligram pens for it to make a decent difference for them. And I've also known of people that have gone all the way through and it just doesn't work for them. The good thing is they haven't had any nasty side effects as well. But the sad thing is it just doesn't work for them. And this is something, and it really breaks my heart, this does, that people, one, that they're spending their own money on this treatment plan and it's just not done them much good at all. But at the same time, there has been a weight loss. So use that to just try and instigate the lifestyle of being healthier. But at the same time, is there something else that might work better for you? Have you tried Wegovy or any of the other weight loss medications? Are you in a position to speak to someone to advise you about someone who knows you, can check you and have a look at you and see what might work for you? But whatever it is, please don't give up, because you're on this journey now and you're doing this journey, one, because you want to feel better, look better, you want to lose weight. And while you're in that frame of mind, just keep pushing. It'd be great if you keep following the channel, because we just want to spread that positivity. And just let me know how things are going, and I'd be interested to know. I know, yeah, you might not have anywhere to go when you go up to the 15s, but if that does work for you, or if you get any benefit whatsoever, even if it just gets you into a better frame of mind, as long as you're not getting those nasty side effects, because as we know, the higher up the doses you go, you are more prone to those side effects. And I've been hearing from people that have been on very low doses that have been poorly, with all sorts of things going on. And I think there might be a question related to that as well at some point here. A bit of a tongue-in-cheek question here, and I've put the name for this, who sent this. It was from Nuggy. And we were talking about last week where the taste changes were coming in and people are having saltier tastes. Some people are having sweet tastes and taste changes and all sorts. And he's asked, can they make salad taste like sweets? That would be good. Do we give that? Yes, that would be very good. But then would you be more inclined to be wanting sweets? Because really, if you come and have one of my salads, Nugget, which just has about everything in it and it's really well balanced, and it has some really, even has a little bit of cheese for a bit of savoury as well, you don't need any sweets. So thanks for the question. Here's one, and I noticed no one had responded to this. It's been on there for a few days now. I can't sleep on these things at all. Anyone else? I have heard this, and I've heard that it settles with some people. Some people get it for a few nights. Some people get it for weeks. Some people get it for a bit longer. The sleeplessness, disturbed nights. To be fair, I don't get disturbed sleep. I drop off quite well at night, and I have done for a few months, but I tend to wake up very, very early, and I'm talking the early hours, and find it difficult to get back off to sleep. That might not necessarily be the Mounjaro. That might just be just general life. We all have days like that, don't we? But there's other things, like people have had vivid dreams, nightmares, all sorts of strange dreams and strange nocturnal sort of occurrences. I don't think, if we were to write down all the differences that people have with the changes around what Mounjaro can cause, I think that we could write a book, to be honest with you. I think it just changes quite a lot of things that go on in our bodies, to be honest with you. And that's sort of in conjunction with what they keep finding from the research that Eli Lilly has been doing. It, like recently, they were talking about this taste and smell and the cardiovascular, positive changes and all sorts of different positive as well as negative things. I think it can have such a change just on our bodies in all sorts of ways. So hopefully, if you're having disturbed sleep, it won't last too long and things will get a little bit better for you, hopefully. Right, we have, how many do we have left? We have one question left, and then we'll get onto the progress picks, and then we'll do a weight update. So the last question here, let's have a look. Neil, I've tried that website. Now, this is the website that Sean did. Says the referral code has been used a maximum amount of time and won't allow me to create an account or log in. Any thoughts from the creator? Right. Sean has been in touch. Now, Sean is really busy. He works full time. He's also a scout leader, and he's been developing this app, which is sort of an app. If you open the website on your phone, on your smartphone, I've got an iPhone, you can actually set it up like an app. You can save it to your sort of your main page, not the desktop app, whatever it's called, the screen, the main screen, as an app, which is really good. And when you open it on your phone, it looks like an app. And I'm not sure if Sean's doing a specific app for this. He's aware that there are some glitches that he's ironing out when he can. But he's also hoping to open it out for everybody at some point, of which there will, I'm sure, be a small nominal fee just to cover up all the time and effort and what he's had to do to put this. But I think for what it's worth, it'd be worth its weight in gold. It's got recipes, it's got that calculator I mentioned, it's got the weight tracker, the actual GLP-1 tracker side of things, and it puts everything into graphs. It's tailored for you. I think it will be a really good thing. So, yes, no one else can get on it at the moment, but as soon as I hear anything from Sean, I'll update you with the information, and hopefully we can all start using it. Because the funny thing is, Sean actually contacted me in the week because he sent me a login for it, and I just started just putting down as I was using it. I was just putting things in and putting my weight in, only to realise that I was actually using his page. So sorry, Sean, I probably buggered up your plan there, but sorry. Okay. Talking about Sean, he's been in touch with me, and that's a good time actually to move over to Sean's progress pictures. This is really good, Sean. If you have a look at these, so we got Sean here with his daughter, that's obviously in the Scouts as well, which is superb, and well done to Sean, because for someone that's got so little time spare, I just admire people that can go out and put their time and effort into doing things like this. Left side picture there is Sean as he was, and then as we can see, there's Sean there. And let me just see what I've put. I haven't put down when this was from, and I think this was earlier this year that Sean's lost his weight. I haven't got the weight details here, but Sean, you're looking absolutely fantastic. You're doing really well. Keep up the good work and get the app finished. Right, we got another couple to look at. So we have Beverly. Now, Beverly has sent some pictures in here, and she writes, "Love your channel. You're an inspiration for sure." Well, it's reciprocated because I get it back from you guys as well. Here's some pictures of me before and after. I started Mounjaro in April 25, and I'm down 33 pounds. I have another 10 to go, but I'm feeling great. Weight loss is so beneficial. My arthritic knee is benefiting no end. I will keep the videos coming. Thank you for that. Let me get the pictures back up. Beverly, what a transformation. Absolutely. And everyone always looks so well in their after pictures, in their up-to-date pictures, and younger. Everyone's looking so well and younger. You're doing absolutely brilliantly, Beverly. Well done to you. That brings us to Lisa, who, hi Neil, thought I'd show you my before and after pics. I've blurred out your face, Lisa, as well. Starting weight was 15 stone 3, now 10.5 stone. It looks a massive difference, as I'm just under 5 foot tall, feeling fantastic, all on 2.5 and 3.33 in 20 weeks. Absolutely magnificent. I mean, if you look there where Lisa's holding the little horse there to how she looks now, what a transformation. That is so impressive. And yeah, I bet you feel absolutely fabulous. So all three of you, well done to all three of you, and to everyone else out there. Keep those progress pics coming, because I love to show people how we're getting on. And another message for you, Sean, get the app done. No, I'm only joking, but it would help. No, but I appreciate how busy you are. Right, let me just get up I've done my weigh-in today, and I've written it down because I always forget it. And let's go for an update on the weight. So I'm heading for, it was 91 kilos I'm heading for, wasn't it? Last week I was 93.8 kilos, which is 207 pounds, 14 stone 11, which just sounds ridiculous for me. If you'd have said to me 6 months ago, you will be 14 stone something before the end of the year, I'd have laughed in your face. I really, really would have. I mean, look, that was me literally at the start of my journey this year. And I don't look at myself very often. And I just don't, because no one likes looking at themselves, do they? But when I look at the early videos, like I did the other week, and then see how things have changed. I mean, this is when we started our Blue Tube channel, which is a football channel. It's nothing unusual, don't worry. It's about football. Blue Tube, because it's Blues that we follow, with my son Ben. And it was looking at these sometimes that it made me sort of realise, apart from the fact that my blood pressure was sky high and my cholesterol was through the roof, and as I've documented before, the fact that I'm literally was a heart attack waiting to happen. That's what sort of coerced me into just making that decision to getting myself in better shape. And Mounjaro has really helped me do that. But anyway, I'm waffling again. I haven't waffled really that much for a while now, have I? So people that know on the channel, they know that I can waffle. They know I'm really good at waffling. And I go off on a tangent quite often and totally forget what I was talking about to start with. And people must be sort of listening in thinking, well, hang on, did he say what he was in? And then I'm like, yeah, see you next week. And there must be like, what have I missed? Anyway, I'm waffling. So last week's weight, 93.8 kilos on my way to 91 kilos, which is my final destination. Today, 92.9. I was 207 pounds last week. This week, 205, so 2 pounds off. 14 stone 11. I'm now 14 stone 9, edging that little bit closer week by week. And I haven't plateaued for a little while. I've still been really lucky that it's still been coming off. I've been sticking to plan. Like I say, I use the NutriCheck app a lot. I still have days where I'll go over, but then I'll cater for it the other day. So it's not necessarily on a daily thing. Sometimes it'll be over a number of days, even a week, some weeks. But without waffling anymore, I think that'll do for this week's update. We'll see about Wednesday. I know it's going to be a busy week for me. So if you don't see me Wednesday, don't worry, I'm still here, but you will definitely see me for next weekend. If there's any more questions, I think the questions are really good. There's never a silly question. Progress pictures will be good. You never know, I might hit target. That will be a celebration, won't it? But if I don't, slow is better, slow and steady. I've had some rapid weight losses, haven't I, this year? And it's not always for the best. So if your progress is slow going out there, as long as it's going in the right direction, that's good. If you're having massive weight losses, yeah, don't hold on to it for too long, because if it does slow down, it doesn't matter. Mine slowed down, but still losing 2 pounds a week is huge. And it's not always for the best, because sometimes I am really tired and I'm thinking, have I eaten enough? Sometimes when I haven't used the app and I'm going back over and trying to put calories in, I'm realizing, God, I'm underneath what I should be getting. I aim for sort of 1,800 calories a day, which I tend to get. So I told you a waffle. So I'm going to leave you with that. Have a great week ahead. I'll speak to you before the kids next door get murdered. I'll speak to you by next weekend. Take care. All the best.